Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Ask the Trade Pros. It's your favorite show where a couple of trade guys talk about trade stuff. We're here to answer your questions about your HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and any other home system. We're also here to help keep your home running smoothly. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Todd.
Today we're answering a question from one of our loyal listeners. She writes, Dear Todd and Jordan, I don't know why she put Todd first, but what is the difference between a water softener and a RO system, and which one might we need for our home?
Well, we know why she said Todd first, because normally I have the better answers. So let's go over what each system does and why would you want one in your home.
Let's start with the RO systems.
What does an RO system do, Jordan?
RO systems use a membrane to remove impurities from the water. They are generally effective in eliminating a wide range of items in the water. However, RO systems use a lot of water to produce a little bit of clean water, as well as can be very expensive. You will generally see ROs only in server rooms, specialty commercial systems, or say on a kitchen faucet in your house just to produce drinking water.
How about cooking?
You can use the same faucet for cooking as well. Some people like the mineral taste to help their pasta taste better. I've had coffee connoisseurs who will not use RO water in their coffee because they say it tastes funny.
Interesting. I've never heard that one, but we'll run with it. The next most common type of water treatment is probably going to be a water softener. What a water softener does is it reduces the concentration of hardness minerals such as calcium and magnesium in the water. They use ion exchange technology to replace these minerals with sodium or potassium ions, which result in softer water and reduced scaling.
One of the key points is that a softener is a salt-based system. It is always going to discharge a little bit of salt, whether it be sodium or potassium chloride. It does release a little bit of salt into your water in affecting its process.
What about drinking water from the softeners? You always hear everyone say it's not good to drink salt, etc.
So there is a minor amount of salt that is released into the water in a softener. Now, if you're somebody who's sensitive to salt, you have high blood pressure, you have medical conditions, this could cause an issue. Ordinarily, for most people, it's not enough salt to cause a major issue, but it may cause some issues. You also can't let the salt run out of your hose bibs because you're essentially salting the earth. Now, if you use a softener that takes potassium, you're essentially eating a banana.
So it sounds like the better route to go is eating a banana. Go with the potassium.
Yes, but the potassium is more expensive to process than the salt. So the cost of operating a potassium softener is going to be higher than the cost of operating a sodium softener. These days, a lot of people are going with whole home water treatments or whole home water conditioners. Todd, could you tell me a little bit about the benefits of adding a whole home water treatment that is non-salt to your house?
Sure. So most of the newer whole home treatments, we'll call it, involve a pre-filter, an activated carbon filter, and a media filter. The activated carbon filters, what they do is absorb organic contaminants, chlorine, VOCs, and unpleasant tastes and odors from the water.
So that's kind of like your Brita filter on steroids.
Correct. They're also commonly used as pre-filters in combination with any other systems or as standalone point-of-use filters.
Unlike the softener systems, the non-salt water treatment systems address the scale, but they do not remove it. They use a process called nucleation-assisted crystallization. Now, that's a bunch of fancy words and chemical reactions. Basically, what it does is it alters the chemical bonds in the scale so that it no longer sticks to your fixtures or your showers. For example, when I put one into my house, I still get some scale on the glass wall of the shower, but it's no longer the hard, crusty stuff that you have to peel off. It's like a fine baby powder and just rinses away.
So what this sounds like to me is an RO system removes everything from the water. The whole house water treatment system removes all the bad stuff and leaves good minerals. And the water softener leaves you with sodium or potassium.
That is very correct, yes. It depends on what you actually want to achieve by putting a treatment system on your house. As we spoke about earlier, the RO system is great for sinks. It does produce a lot of wastewater, and it's a very expensive system, so you don't want to use it for the whole home. The salt system, if you have a very particular need to remove the hardness from your house, the salt system is going to work best, but it needs constant replacement of the salt as well as electrical power to the system to control the meter, and it doesn't necessarily address the taste, the odor, motors, the VOCs you talked about. The whole home treatment is the most modern and usually the most popular method to do it these days, as it makes the water taste good, be safe for you, addresses scale, doesn't require power, and is very little maintenance.
That's a good point. And also another big thing, what we hear from customers is, especially on a water softener system, they regenerate. So regenerating is wasting water every few 100 gallons of water, depending on what your hardness levels are set to. You're dumping.
It's basically your water treatment center throwing up.
Yeah, you're regenerating 20 to 40 gallons of water, which is going to be wasted, just like the RO system, depending on the type of system. If it's a 1-to-1, for every good gallon of water you're getting, you're dumping the water. And we're in Arizona where we're having water issues. So who wants to waste all that water when they could just get a water treatment system that doesn't regenerate water, has a multi-stage process, requires no power, very simple to install.
Now, one of the things our loyal listener has to remember too is that the type of system that we can install in your house will also depend on the layout and build of your house. Modern houses that have water loops may be more acceptable to put a softener on there if you want one. They also have power outlets. If you have an older home or a home that wasn't originally built for this type of system, you may have limitations in location of the device, size of the device, power availability, discharge availability. We always recommend that you call your professional and they can come out and give you an evaluation of what would be best for your particular needs in your particular housing situation.
I'm sure this episode is leaving a lot of you with more questions than answers. So like Jordan said, if you want to know more about water treatment systems, reach out to your local trade pro.
Thank you again, as always, for joining us on Ask the Trade Pros. We love hearing from you guys. If you enjoyed this show and want to check out our new upcoming episodes, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
And if you have a question about your home, Jordan probably has an answer.
Or at least something to say.
Leave us a voicemail or send us an email, and we may feature your question in a future episode. That information is in our show notes.
And as always, thank you again to Done Right Services for sponsoring this podcast.